I think that as far as general movie audiences go, let's compare 2012 to right now. Okay. That was 11 years ago. This is 2023. And in 2012, you had a few comic book movies that were connected: the Captain America, the Thor, Iron Man, and then the Avengers. The whole
Yep.
world was on fire for the Avengers at that point.
Yep.
Let's fast forward to 2023. Right now, we have 30 connected MCU films, or 31, somewhere in that ballpark. But that's not it. We also have the Disney Plus Marvel shows, which
Yeah.
I think right now we're at 7 or 8 shows. It's kind of bonkers. Someone like my parents, or someone like several of my friends that aren't hardcore into this stuff like I am, it's kind of intimidating if you don't know much about this world. Is Marvel at a point right now where they are going to lose general moviegoers?
Is the dam about to burst? Because like it gets to be so much to where you can't keep up with it, and that was a problem. I think that's
Yeah.
a big part of the problem with when wrestling lost its popularity. You get to a certain point where your average person cannot follow everything that's going on, and once you get to that point, you start losing. When it starts becoming a job or a chore to keep up with everything that's going on, it's not fun anymore. And if it's not fun, you're not going to invest time and money into it. You're going to move on to the next thing.
Exactly.
I'm glad that they've taken a step back, like they were putting out quantity over quality, and now they're trying to like reverse that and get it back to like where it was. But yeah, they put out like way too much stuff for anybody to keep up with, in my opinion.
I think what happened is a slow moving train. I mean, in hindsight, you can look at it as kind of like a business model almost. Like, look, they build you up, and as the business continues to grow, they build you up with these movies and these characters. This is what we're setting out to do. We want to start here and go up like a upside down triangle, I guess. And they build up, and then they're like, okay, we can either keep this slow pace, like once they get to basically end game, COVID essentially is a good time period for me. I always think of Disney Plus coming out and
Yeah.
COVID and all they were putting out. The train was everybody, they dumped all this money and they're like, you know what, the time, I'm not saying it's because of COVID, it's just the time period. They're like, okay, we have to blow this up now and turn it into like a massive brand and not just focus on these characters. Because in reality, there's been so many more characters introduced in the past, let's just say 4 or 5 years. And it's like, oh my gosh, to y'all's point, it's so much to take on. Like, you guys are not just making all these characters in like 2 or 3 shows. You're doing it in 7 shows, and you're also putting movies out at the same time. And it's just massive level of like them trying to market out. But how many people will they lose? I don't think that they are growing at the pace that they should be to be putting out all of this content.
Exactly.
Because it's getting stagnant
Yeah.
for us as people who have watched it for forever, and people more like, I'd even say you, John, I'll use you as a reference because I know you genuinely care a lot more than I do too. When I see someone like you, and you're not the only person I know like this, that's starting to lose interest or be like, it's cool and all, but like I do not care about X, X, Y, and Z. Not me exclusively, but all those. When I see those people start to say that, I'm like, you can tell. I don't think they're getting enough new people to fulfill the needs of the people they're losing, if that makes sense, to fill up
Yes,
the slot.
that's exactly what it is. Let's go back to 2016, 2015. At that point, they were still introducing, this is right before Endgame and Infinity War. They were still introducing new characters slowly at that point, very, very slowly. We every once in a while we would get the Black Panther, every once in a while we would get Captain Marvel, but they were introducing them very, very slowly. In this newest phase, as they call it, they're introducing new character after a group of new characters: the Eternals, Moon Knight, the new Hawkeye, the female version, Kate Bishop, all these new characters. And it's just like drinking from a fire hose. It really is.
Yep.
I think that they need to not only dial it back like you guys were referring to, but they need to slow their roll with these new characters. I think that they are going to, and this is only theory at this point, but the new Avengers movies, Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty, come out in 2025 and 2026. The only way they can top themselves at this point from what they did in 2018 and 19 with Endgame and Infinity War is bringing in characters like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Having all those cats on the screen at the same time is going to be epic. Let's just say if I had to bet $100 on if it's going to happen or if it's not going to happen, I would be putting my $100 on the fact that it's going to happen. We already have the writing on the wall. Tobey's already come back for the Spider-Man film. Hugh Jackman's coming back in 2024 for the Deadpool 3. Why would they not bring those guys back one last time just to have everyone, literally everyone on screen? I think that they're starting to get to an era in their slate that they've already planned out years before where it's going to be, you know, some of these more fan favorite and old school characters. But yeah, I think that that's the X-Men. Yeah, Fantastic Four. Bringing back Deadpool, which is still a relatively new character to general audiences, but, you know, he's still a big name character. I think that that's what they have to do. They have to find that balance. You've done a pretty good job of making us care about these newer characters, but it's harder to care when you give us new character after new character after new character.
Have they said who's going to replace? Was it Kang?
They haven't made an announcement on that, and that's something we have talked about on the channel. The guy that plays Kang the Conqueror, in a nutshell, this is kind of what happened.
Yeah.
The guy that plays Kang the Conqueror, which was basically going to be the MCU's next Thanos, right? The next Avengers level threat. And he's already been introduced in a few of the shows and a few of the movies. Well, he recently was arrested on assault allegations. There was a girl that was with him in a cab. It was kind of odd because his attorney came out and said, hey, don't worry about these charges. We have video evidence. We have a statement from his girlfriend and so many different other things. And he made it seem like it was going to go away. Well, here we are 2 weeks later and nothing has went away yet. I feel like that's a possibility. Disney has not made an official announcement on it yet. So we'll see what happens. I really am rooting for the guy because this guy has literally been in every movie in the past 2 or 3 years. You know, he was the villain in Creed 3. He was, going to be Kang in the MCU. Yep. He was in that movie, that war movie called Devotion that came out recently, Lovecraft Country on HBO, kind of taking over the world as far as Hollywood goes. Yeah, video evidence comes out of him like actually hitting the woman or being physical in any way, shape, form, he's not going to be Kang the Conqueror anymore.
I heard that he was like choking her out or something. I heard.
I mean, possibly. That's the thing. We don't know. We haven't seen proof of any of that yet. I think that was some of the allegations that was made by the female that was in the car with him. So we don't know for sure yet at this point. But it's kind of unfortunate for Marvel because they have already started to put so much of this planning and universe on his back. And now, it's like a gamble that didn't pay off. I mean, unless everything, unless he's proven innocent and all this kind of just falls through the cracks. But
yeah, as of a day ago, it's like someone stated that Marvel has gotten in touch with his agent, but nobody has made any decisions as of yet. I can't believe that. I didn't even think about that when I'm hearing about this story on several different things that I'm listening to and reading on socials, and I'm like, man, I hope that's not real because that sucks. I was like, that guy is like the new Michael B. He's like about to go right past Michael B. And I love that because I don't like Michael B. Jordan. Not for any personal reasons. I'm just totally don't like any of his movies.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, I like Creed.
I love the Creed movies. And I also like him as Killmonger in Black Panther. His performance as the Killmonger. The movie itself, I didn't love Black Panther, but his performance and spoilers, if you haven't seen Black Panther 2 in 3, 2, 1, but they do bring him back in the second Black Panther for a small cameo. We digress, Shane. That's always what we always say.
Yes, we digress. We definitely do.